Welcome back to the final episode, final part, the last part of a part series that I've done since last week. The top 100 underrated R&B songs of all time. My book that I've been talking about since last week. I believe last Friday I've started doing this. Now we bound to the end. This is what I picked as the number one underrated R&B song, and it is Kenny Burke, "Rising to the Top." Rising to the Top, 1982. It should have been a number one hit, but instead the song peaked only at number 63 on the charts. The song was a signature song, especially in Chicago. Kenny Burke self-produced this record, and Norma Jean Wright, Kenny Burke, and Alan W. Felder wrote the song. Rising is a message song, the party record. Just check out the lyrics. Also, the influence of the record is very underrated. If you listen to Mary Jane Girls all night long, the bass line is very similar. So the impact of this record is the sampling of this record in the hip hop world, from Dougie Fresh to Sky Zoo, have sampled this record. That's the reason why I felt this is the most underrated by far song of all time in R&B history. "Rising to the Top" by Kenny Burke. It's very underrated because it achieved massive underground cultural influence despite only peaking at number 63 on the US Billboard R&B charts. Its status comes from an infectious bass line, elite studio craftsmanship, and deep impact on hip hop and R&B sampling. Why it's legendarily underrated? The chart versus cultural impact. Why it was not a massive mainstream pop crossover hit upon its release. It became an eternal anthem in soul, roller rink, and steppers communities. The iconic bass line. Recorded at Philadelphia's legendary Sigma Sound Studios, the track features a smooth, hypnotic, inspirational groove driven by Burke's own multi-instrumental arrangement skills. The heavy sampling. The song's DNA lives inside countless massive hits. It was famously flipped the next year into the Mary Jane Girls All Night Long, which I just talked about in the book, that I mentioned in the book, the influence. And later sampled by hip hop R&B voices like DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Dilla, and Knife Wonder. So this song is definitely influential. We talk about this song. I had to put it at number one. I just think that song definitely influenced a lot of people. And Kenny Burke, for those who don't know who Kenny Burke is, he's part of maybe the most underrated R&B group of all time, the Five Stair Steps. They were a family group, brother and sister group. They were known as the first family of soul. They were the first family of soul. They was dubbed that because they had a streak of early chart successes that began 8 years after their formation. You know, working with No Curtis Mayfield, World of Fantasy, Ooh Baby Baby. They made that, but that's what's produced by Curtis Mayfield. Ooh Child, Dear Prudence. You know, they did a lot of things. Yep, Kenny Burke, man, keep rising to the top. This was off the Changes album in 1982, and yeah, rising to the top. Like I said, that bass line, if you listen to Mary Jane Girls all night long, is similar to the bass line that was used on Rising to the Top. So that song was not only a great song, it was influential in that way, using that bass line, the interpolation of it. And everybody started using that sample. The advent of hip hop, everybody started using the sample. Even Dougie Fresh said in the OK Player interview back in 2018 that he said it was a song that I felt hip hop needed at the time to transition from the regular type of records that were coming out to what would call a feel good harmless style record. We made Kick Rise to the Top, Dougie Fresh, World's Greatest Entertainer, 1988. That was number four on the charts. Keep rising to the top. So that's the influence of Kenny Burke. Not a big name artist. Yes, he came from the first family of soul, but he didn't become a major platinum selling artist despite what he did. That's why I had to put it at number one, underrated song. That should have been a hit. Should have been a hit, definitely. It wasn't. But that's all I gotta say about that. I'm done. Thanks for the 3 people tuning in. It was 3 people, like somebody, some people put in. I don't know. Look like it. Somebody's tuning in right now, but I'm finished with the breakdown of why Keni Burke, Rises to the Top, was the most underrated R&B song in R&B history. From this book that I've been going over since last week, it's over with. The countdown is over with. I went from number 100 to number 1. Now I'm done. So now I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not going to do no more live feeds today and take it easy the rest of the day. Come back strong and do better with more. I got a new series coming up from a couple of my books that's self-published that's coming. So get ready for that. So we're going to keep it moving strong on this journey through this channel. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the channel, the support. All the best for all the subscribers, man. Keep supporting the channel. It's gonna get better and better. So until then, talk to you tomorrow.